Good morning. It's Tuesday and I am going to try to make my video this morning rather than waiting until 11 o'clock tonight. I just got home from 4 nights in Dallas. We had a convention for my company and I got home actually the night before last, but Andy and I had to go over to the lake. Went directly to the lake and we cleaned the little house over there yesterday. It was quite a mess. Took us all day. But it was in good shape and we got it done on time by the time the next people came, and then we came home. And we went grocery shopping on the way home. And I was so hungry for, I was hungry and I was hungry for my own food. Like, I was so excited to shop and to eat what I decided to eat, even though the food was amazing in Dallas. But anyway, I think I overdid it. My fridge is stuffed. But it's all good stuff. So I'm excited because I am down a pound. I decided to do my weigh-in this morning because since my video day is on Tuesday, I never get to report. Or I could, I guess, but I decided to do my weigh-in this morning, and finally I dropped a pound. And I kind of knew that I could sort of tell on my body, because you can just tell. And so anyway, I'm very encouraged about that because I actually worked at it while I was at my conference, and I'll tell you what I did because it was effective and I'm grateful. I didn't get all of my walks in, although I did get to take one good walk with a lady from my team. The hotel that we stayed at in Dallas was right beside, oh gosh, what's that big, huge mega church in Dallas? It's Robert Morris's church. Now I can't remember what the church is called. It's not Crossgates, is it? Maybe it is. Anyway, that building was right down the road from the hotel that I was staying at, and it's vast. Like, the parking lots and the building, you almost felt you were at like Destiny Mall. It's huge. And the parking lots were huge. So we walked around the parking lot. It was totally empty on Friday night after our meetings. I was like, Lori, do you want to walk? She's a lady my age. She's kind of got a lot in common with me. And so she's the type of person that would sound good to. So we did. We got a walk in, and that was nice. And also, our room was on the 5th floor in the hotel. So I found the staircase, and I took the stairs every time that I had to go up and down to my room. I just decided that's going to be one of my strategies here, is just making sure I get a little bit of, as much movement as I can, because I'm in meetings all day. And so there wasn't a lot of opportunity. I mean, I guess I could have made time to go to their gym, but I just do not care for the gym. I don't like it. I don't like treadmills. I don't like being there. I'm not sure what to do. Maybe that will change. Anything could happen, but I decided that I would just keep it to my walking and all of that as much as possible. So anyway, and as far as food went, I decided that I was just going to eat what was put in front of me, but not pursue other food. Like, breakfast was never on the menu, so I just didn't eat breakfast. But I made coffee in my room And I had that, you know, I either drank it black or they give you 2 little creamers. So if I had them, I used them, but I also drank black coffee. And then they would roll out a morning snack, which was just like muffins and fruit. And I know that for me to eat a muffin or an apple, even when I'm really hungry, is so not satisfying. It actually makes me feel hungrier. And I just need to break my fast with something that's got a lot of protein. So I just would wait until lunch, and the lunch items were always, I mean, the food was gorgeous. There was always like grilled chicken and, you know, a big, beautiful green salad. And so that was sort of my strategy. It was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do the chicken and the salad, you know, kind of as much as I want, as much as I'm hungry for. And then I saved my carbs for a little dessert. If there was dessert and it was something that I wanted to taste, then I got that. So a couple times I did get dessert, 3 times. But I also tried to be like picky about my eating. Like, I ate the parts that I liked the best. Like, I was at a dinner, we had like a burrito bowl kind of thing, like a, what was it? What did we have? Oh, it was like a salad with some nice chicken. It was Tex-Mex basically, and there was a big thing of chips and all of the guacamole and the, you know, and then they had the tres leches cake. So that meal, I got a big pile of greens and just loaded it up with the grilled chicken and put a little bit of guacamole and salsa there and had like 3 chips because they looked like the good kind of tortilla chips that I don't get very often. So I got some of those, and then they served us this massive piece of tres leches cake, which is so good. I mean, my piece was enough for at least 4 people. It was ridiculous. It was just such a big piece. And so I like ate all of the yummy, gooey stuff off the top and a few bites of the part of the cake that was the most like drenched, like the squishy, yummy part. But there was like a really big piece of cake that was just like a dry piece of cake there, and I just left it on my plate. And somebody, when I sent my plate back, somebody was like, what is this? Like, who didn't eat their cake or whatever? And I was like, that was me. But I ate the parts that I wanted, and I didn't feel like I had to finish the parts that weren't like worth it. Like, I find that that's what I'm trying to do, especially with my carbs. Like, I feel like certain things I can just have. They're sort of self-limiting, at least for me. I've noticed that like protein and vegetables are self-limiting, as long as you're not like covering them with dressing or you know, they're greasy, oily, whatever. Like grilled chicken and a salad, you get to the point where you're like, I've had enough of that. Whereas for me, chips and cake, my mouth will never tell me to stop. My stomach will never tell me to stop. My stomach might even tell me to stop, and my brain and my, you know, my pleasure centers are saying eat more. So I try to be really careful with carbs and a little bit more deliberate. Like, yeah, for me, normally I wouldn't even have the chips unless, you know, I just probably wouldn't even have one, because I know that 2 or 3 chips isn't going to do it for me. Like, it doesn't really satisfy me, and it puts me in a pickle with temptation wise. And so I usually wouldn't even have any. I love all those I like junk food. I do. I love Cheetos, Jacks, Fritos, like any of that stuff. If I could be the size and shape that I want to be, I'd eat all the junk food I wanted, if it didn't make a difference, because that's, to me it's an instant pleasure. And we all know that, salad and grilled chicken is perfectly yummy, but it's just more of a sustained yum, and it's more of an acquired taste. I mean, can tell what's easy by what children will eat, right? Like salty, fatty, sweet, all those kind of things are the things that our palate kind of would just naturally want. And crunchy, but learning to enjoy the good choices is, I guess just part of maturing and developing some self-control. So anyway, that's what happened. I was really grateful to be able to do that at the conference. And it was a really great conference. And then the travel, you guys, I just decided both days I was traveling, I'm not buying airport food. I know there's some decent things you could eat at the airport, but I didn't want to spend the money on food that costs 3 times too much. And I just kind of decided that my travel days would be more for fasting. I had a few things with me in my bag, little package of almonds or a little package of olives, some gummy bears. Paul gave me this little snack box from first class, and so I ate the snacks that were in the box, but I didn't buy food, and I was just really, really hungry, but also, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was drinking lots of water. I never feel good when I'm flying. I always feel kind of halfway sick from the motion and stuff anyway. So anyway, my last day of flying, I did end up buying a piece of cheese pizza. I hadn't eaten all day long, and I was just super hungry, and so I went to Sbarro's and bought a piece of cheese pizza, and I was tempted to get 2 pieces and the soda because it was a deal, and then I was like, no, I changed my mind. I ordered it, and then I was like, I changed my mind. I just want to get I'm just gonna get 1 piece of cheese pizza. And they had the calories up there on the board. I don't know how accurate they are, but it said 440 calories. I was like, that's a decent amount of calories for dinner, so I'll just do that. And then I ate some of the little snacks I had in my bag for dessert. But anyway, all of that happened, and in the airport I had a lot of time, so I just walked. I walked the terminals. I just decided to walk around and get my steps in as best I could while I was traveling, because something to do instead of sit there. But I'm encouraged because I have been sort of stuck since Body Slims ended. I haven't lost any weight, and I have been trying. I've been working at it, but also I haven't been really faithful with the calorie tracking. But now I'm home, and I am back on track. 2 things that I'm working on right now. I just decided to sort of, for me, just to intensify a little bit with my with my eating, just because I do want to see a little bit more progress than I've been seeing, is I'm drinking my coffee black again. I just decided I want to do an actual intermittent fast. And I've heard opinions all different ways, but I think the best I have learned is that if you want to do an actual intermittent fast, you can drink black coffee, but you can't have anything in your coffee. Otherwise, it breaks your fast. In other words, it gets your hormones and your stomach and whatever doing what it does to digest. And the benefits of fasting are that you're giving your whole system an actual rest. And so I decided, since the fasting was working pretty well at the conference, like I really didn't have anything to eat before noon there. And you know what? It didn't kill me. There were times when I was hungry, but I also liked that feeling of being a little bit more free than with the following 2 meals. Like I didn't I hadn't already taken a bite out of my daily intake, my calories. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing black coffee. I would say probably for the rest of the summer. And I'm also going to just have a fasting window that I basically will eat between 12 and 8, or maybe 11 and 7. I guess it will depend on the day and the situation a little bit, but I decided, you know what? That would just work for me. It would probably make all of this feel a little bit easier, and I'm going to do it. So that is my plan. Oh, I also wanted to just talk about the benefits of turkey. I don't have any actual statistics to share with you guys, but I heard from my friend Corey. She's like, Heather, I've been really enjoying turkey bacon lately. Like I love bacon, and bacon's good, but the turkey bacon is really yummy, high protein, and not all the fat. So it's just a better source of nutrition if you're counting calories, or if you're tracking macros or whatever. And so I went to Aldi's on my shopping yesterday, and I got turkey bacon, and I got also ground turkey, because I found a recipe that called for ground turkey, and I was like, it was actually half the price of ground beef. It was less expensive. I know it's nutritionally, way better for, protein per calorie. And also the price is better, which isn't always the case with really good options. Sometimes you get a, really nice Greek yogurt or something, but it's expensive compared to a regular old yogurt. But in this case, the ground turkey was a really great deal. And so I picked up some of that and put it in the freezer, and also grabbed a couple of rotisserie chickens as I went through Watertown yesterday, because I thought, wow, that is just so easy. I love having that delicious chicken ready, and can put it right on my salads and stuff. So anyway, I'm actually talking about food a lot right now because I'm hungry apparently, but I'm just looking forward to making some really yummy meals this week. I'm home because the lake properties are rented. So if anybody wants to come for lunch, hit me up. and I'll make you a nice salad. I'm serious. I mean, yeah, just text me. And anyways, I'm just grateful to be home, and I'm thankful to the Lord for this season of life. I enjoy my kids and my grandkids so much. Let me tell you, ladies that have younger kids, well, in this group it would probably just be Delight, but it actually does get a little busier in a way, and I never would have thought that when I was in the thick of raising 6 little children. I never would have thought, I thought that once the kids were grown that would be an easier season, and in some ways it is. Like, I do definitely have more choices to make every day, whereas when I was raising the kids, it was just, you were just doing the next thing, flat out. But now they all need me and want me to do things with them, go places, help them. And my kids are in 6 different directions, and then there's the 6 grandkids too, and 2 more on the way. So yeah, your family grows, your capacity has to grow, and oftentimes I'm kind of on the verge of overwhelm. And first of all, I have to step back from that feeling that wants to come and just get back to Jesus, because he has not required anything of me that he hasn't also provided the way for. So I can just rest in him and his provision for my life, especially with regard to time. All the things I think I should do are not actually what he's requiring of me. Sometimes it's the things that I am putting on myself that aren't from the Lord. So I'm learning to step back into stillness with the Lord and hearing from him, receiving his peace, and going forward with his leading instead of the screaming voice of overwhelm that would like to drive me. That's definitely not his voice. So yeah, that is something that I am kind of actively thinking about and working on, as far as just kind of fitting it all in and doing the next thing. I love that. I've been listening to Elizabeth Elliot, the late Elizabeth Elliot, who I love her so much. I loved her teachings back on the radio when I was a younger mom, and got so much encouragement from her. And she's back on YouTube. Maybe you've seen her videos come up on your feed, but I have just drawn a lot of encouragement from her little statement that she always makes, which I guess was not original from her. It was somebody else, but I can't remember who. But she says, just do the next thing. Just do the next thing. Don't think about the whole, it's when we lift our eyes from, the present moment and start looking at all the future. How am I going to do all this? How's this all going to work? You know what I mean? When we allow ourselves to go into that kind of thinking instead of staying in the present moment, then the overwhelm can come. At least it does for me. And so when I think about when I start to feel overwhelmed, I take that as a signal to myself. Ooh, no, not going there. What's the next thing? What's the next thing right now that I need to do? Do I need to make a list? Do I need to, do the next item in my to-do list or whatever? So that's been a helpful concept, and I'm looking forward to it, just being home for the next few weeks and being on track and doing the next right thing, and just grateful for life. I'm grateful for the blessings of the Lord on my life, and yeah, also really happy that I lost a pound. Just saying. So encouraging how that helps, but it does. It's like progress is a dopamine hit. I heard somebody say that once, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so true. Just progress. Like, we as women, we love little wins. We love little progress. It's just how we are. It gives you, it's a feel good. And so, making that to-do list and checking things off and being like, oh yeah, I did it. Or, accomplishing a little thing. I mean, that's really the, oh, can I keep talking? I just had another thought. Oh my word, it's 26 minutes. I hope you're washing your dishes or taking your walk or getting something done while you listen, if you're listening. It's the little things that bring joy and happiness, and that feeling of accomplishment is so fun, such a good thing. Also, I watched Brianna's video earlier this morning. I'm behind on these videos, you guys. I haven't watched anything in like a week, but I think I watched the video that Brianna made. Was it yesterday or Sunday? And anyway, like up and down and keep on keeping on. I think that was sort of the message. I get down, he lifts me up, I get down. Remember that one? I get down, down, down. But yeah, picking ourselves up from a failure or from a little fall or stumble or whatever you want to call it. The difference, there's a book that was put up on the screen, and I downloaded it right away from the New York Public Library, and it's by Angela Duckworth, and the title, I can't remember the exact title, you guys, but the key word is grit, the concept of being gritty. And she's a researcher. She's someone that's done a bunch of research into like what makes people successful. And in particular, when I was listening to the chapter that I was just listening to, she talks about, I smile at myself when I look at the camera as if it's you, my live audience. She talks about cadets at West Point. So people love to study the cadets at West Point because they are considered to be the cream of the actual crop. Like, to get into West Point Military Academy, you have to be at the very top of your class. You have to have a recommendation written by the governor of your state. You have to be in top physical condition, and like, it is so selective to get in there. It's just ridiculous. And they have thousands and thousands of people that want to apply, and then out of all the applicants, a very slim percentage of them get in. And they have their first summer is like a boot camp. And I know in the Coast Guard it's called swab summer, but I can't remember what they call it in the Army. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's basically a summer from hell where they put these kids through such an intense introduction into that academy that out of the 1,200 people that just made it through that rigorous program, all these valedictorians and high school football captains who are also like honor society, they get like, I think she said like 70 just drop out right at the beginning, like during that first summer of boot camp. A bunch of them just drop out. So everyone wants to know, like, how can you predict which ones will be the dropouts and which ones will be the ones that stick to it? And it's not about test scores. Everybody has like these astronomical test scores and these high school academic records, and it's she kind of crystallizes the whole concept into the term grit. What is it about a person that makes them press through extreme adversity? And what is it about a person who doesn't? And I can't even tell you one thing, because I haven't gotten that far in the book yet, about what those qualities are. But I do know the idea itself is really powerful. And I think it comes down to exactly what Brianna was sharing in her video. I don't quit. I have a setback, but I press on. And I don't look back. And the Bible says that we're to press on toward the mark, forgetting what is behind and press forward. And I do think that there is such a power in that reset of saying, I'm not even going to allow myself to think about that. Because I'm getting ahead of myself. I used to dwell on my failures. And even this weekend, I was sort of tempted to dwell on my failures. Because at this conference, I was supposed to have like at least a half a dozen people on my team come. And, when you're in that, network marketing, direct sales, you want to get your people to these conventions and conferences, because that's what really builds your belief. It builds momentum and excitement, and that's what's going to grow your team. But I did not nurture those people as well as I should have, as far as just checking in and being like, hey, getting excited, I didn't provide leadership that I should have provided. And I only had, in the end, one person come. And it was great. She got a lot out of it. It was awesome. I am not complaining about that. But I had that regret, that remorse of, I failed. I failed my team. I failed myself. And that thought of, okay, what am I going to learn from this and go forward right now? Like, I'm not going to let myself stay in that sick feeling of failure, which I used to do. Like, I think that there is something about our psyche where we think, if I really rub my face in this, it'll teach me for next time. But the opposite is true. The opposite is true with our food. The opposite is true with anything, any failure. No, we don't have to. We don't have to dwell on it. The Lord doesn't want us to dwell on it. And that's ultimately why the gospel is good news, and it brings liberty, is that we don't have to look at our sin and be like, oh, how could I have done that? I'm so bad. Jesus is like, I paid for that. Let it go. Press on. Let's go forward. Let's walk together. I don't want you, staying in yourself, staying in your pride, looking at yourself, that's just all it is pride, So anyway, I decided, no, okay, I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to spend time regretting that I didn't get more people to this conference. I'm just going to find out. I'm going to get some tips from my leader. So I reached out to my leader last night and just said, hey, can we have a phone call tomorrow? I need some encouragement with regard to leadership. And so I'm going to get on the phone with Christy today, and I'm looking forward to that because she's always really encouraging to me, and she's also a fantastic leader. And so I want to emulate her. I want to grow in that skill. So anyway, that is my Tuesday morning sermon. 35 minutes later, and I'm still on my walk, so I got an hour. But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just excited about possibilities and potential. And mostly, I'm just grateful to the Lord for His goodness. He's just so much better, so much more good, more nice. He's so much more loving and kind. Did I say nice? I don't know if sometimes His ways don't feel nice. I guess there's truth to that. But He's for us, I guess is what I mean to say. He would never be vindictive and punish us or hurt us, because Jesus already took the punishment for everything that we deserved. He bore all of our shame. He bore all of our sin and failure on the cross so that we could be free. And that is why the gospel is good news. If we had to do it ourselves, none of us could. And that's not good news. So anyway, blessings, you guys. Love you. Hope everybody's doing well. And I will sign off for now and say, hope you have a great Tuesday.